What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get Sausage Biscuits. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Throw up the deuces. There you go, baby.
Hey, good evening, boys and girls. What's up? Good evening and welcome to Cage with Christopher James. I am Christopher James. I'm happy to be here with you. It's Thursday night and lots of stuff going on, man. They just announced today a Nunes versus Pena going to take place in August. She's coming back to bantamweight to defend her belt. After she does that, I just have a feeling she's going to retire. I mean, who else is there out there for her to beat up? There's nobody. They got nobody. You know, people always said Cyborg was unbeatable, but really, Nunes is unbeatable. Best female we've ever seen. So that fight got announced. We got UFC this weekend. We got UFC next weekend in Jacksonville, Florida. First time back with fans. It's fucking insane. But last weekend, man, we had some good fights. I think it was last week. It might have been the weekend before. I'm so confused, man. I get all lost in the time, you know, with all these MMA shows and everything. But what I do know is I got a few guys coming on tonight. We're going to split the show up. We're going to do two guests right now, and then going to come back at 11 o'clock tonight with UFC welterweight Jeff Neal, who's taking on Neil Magny in May. But while we're waiting for that, because he's training and everything, we got to get him on a little late. But my first guest, I absolutely love this guy. You guys know he's been on the show with me before. I've had the honor of announcing his name inside the Island Fights ring. He made his way to the UFC through the Contender Series. And, you know, he's just awesome. Forget the fighting. He's just a good human being. Heart in the heart. You know what I'm saying? He cares for his fellow man. He's not out there trying to, like, you know, be a Conor McGregor type person. He's a very religious man. And when he fights people, he's not fighting them because he doesn't like them. He's fighting them because that's the job he chose. And whoever they put in front of him, he's going to do his job and try to beat them up. You know, that's good. It's all right. You know, and but he probably hangs out with them after and talks with them and smiles and chews the shit. You know all the good stuff. So I'm going to bring him in with us right now. I'm happy to have him on board again because he's been with us numerous times. One of my favorite singing performances, by the way, when he did that old "I see birds sing." You know, I don't even know the name, but he sounded just like Louis Armstrong. So we're going to bring him in right now. Coming off a successful win, UFC Fight Night against Sasha Palatnikov. Please welcome my man, the one and only Impa Chilobo Kasanganay. What's up, baby?
My man, how are you? I just saw your intro for the first time. That's sweet.
I am blessed. You asked how I am. I'm blessed, man. I'm alive. My God blessed me to wake up today, and Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I'm going to get to do this all over again tomorrow, and that's how I look at life, man. So, you know, it's just happy. I got some broken ribs, and that's, you know, it's part of life. You know, sometimes things happen, but I'm here. I'm happy. I'm talking to you, and life is good. What about you, man? How has life been transitioning down to South Florida? I know you've been there for a little while, but now that you've been there for a while, give me your thoughts on being in South Florida, because it's a completely different world from where you were up at Jimmo in North Carolina. So there's got to be a little bit of culture shock, I'm going to guess.
Well, it's funny. I was born down here, so it's kind of just a reintroduction to like what I was as a kid. But it still is a culture shock. You know, you're kind of used to growing up in the South as a little kid. Everybody's nice. People here honk their horns like at the drop of a dime. But you know, the reason I'm here is to train and to become the best fighter. And man, that's been a blessing. Being here at Sanford has been very challenging. It's been new. It's been a change in my mindset, a change in my lifestyle, a change in so many things. So it's been a big change. It's been a bunch of changes and a bunch of major changes, but it's been really good too. The things I didn't know that I needed. So I've been loving it down here. The weather's great, the beach is great, the food's great. It's a cool environment.
Yeah. You know, you said there's a bunch of changes. Let me see something here. There we go. What's been the biggest change for you as far as right now?
Not rushing things, slowing things down, realizing how important that is and how beneficial it is. I think I used to always rush things. I used to like to be first, be fast, and just kind of like go through life and miss details. Being
Hey,
careful.
let me cut you off for a second. Do me a favor. Um, your headphones, is there a volume control in the microphone?
Yes.
Can you turn it up? A couple of people watching it, they can hardly hear you.
How about now?
That's better. Josh, is that better for you guys? Can you guys hear him a little better?
Better?
I can hear you better. So I'm guessing they can, Forrest or Josh, one of you guys comment. Hey, you know what, Impa? So we can tell if we can hear you better. Sing us that song again you did back in the day. Just give us a little sample.
I see trees of green, red roses too. How about that? Did it work? Did it work?
They all said much better. There we go.
Y'all just
And
trying to get me to sing the song. That's what it was.
oh, dude. Well, no. But listen. I'm going to take a picture of this screen right here, just so
Yeah.
you know I'm not full of crap. They all said they couldn't hear you.
No, I believe you. I'm
I'm going to send it to you after we get done with the show, just so you know I would never lie to you. But I'm going to prove it now, just because you were like, you just want to be singing. Of course, I want you to sing all the time because I love the way you sing that song. But when we're talking about changes, I more importantly than like in the fight game and being patient and all that stuff, just overall living, because again, you were up in North Carolina for a while at Jim O. It's a much more rural area. So, you've got more food choice and all this stuff down there. But what's been the one thing? Like, is there something that you just really enjoy about being in a much busier metropolitan area?
Man, I do. I love being able to go to different cities. I like Fort Lauderdale a lot. I go down there like Las Olas, downtown Fort Lauderdale. I love the beach, and that's been super cool. That's been my favorite thing. I grew up by the beach, so going back to it has been refreshing. Miami's cool. I don't go there a lot unless I'm going out in like the first round to see the guys or training down there. But I love I just love seeing like the art, the busyness, the lifestyle. Like in college I lived in New York for 2 years, so that was cool, and it feels like I'm back, but like in a more tropical New York. Um,
I like
I
I like
love
it.
I love the food. It's cool. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and you've also taken up. I seen some pictures of you posing down in some clothing, like you're a fashion superstar model now on the rise. What's going on with that?
Oh man, this company called State and Liberty I've been working with now. They have really awesome suits. They're made for athletic people. So like any athlete that needs them, to like you can move. Like I'll show you'll see a video soon of me like hitting mitts and stuff, but it still stays tailored to your body and it's not stiff. And I just kind of walked down. That's in Las Olas and in Brickell,
Yeah.
and we kind of started working together. And then yeah, I guess the modeling career is starting to get going too. Yeah, so we'll see.
Well, we might see Impa Kasanganay walking down the runway in Paris one day, modeling these guys' clothes. And I
Hey.
tell you, I seen Impa I saw Impa in January in person at ex MMA, an event we did in West Palm Beach. And I got to tell you, man, the shirt was so snug and like custom, like contoured to your body. And all I'm thinking is, look at my boy Impa, man. He's wearing a fucking like a child's medium, because it's all just. But it's like if I did that, it would just show my fat. You did it, I'm going, man, look, he's all cut up and ripped up, and look at the muscles, and I'm like, I can't pull that look off. But that's cool though, a little something outside of the fight game, something in the fashion world, and everything I've seen you photographed and that you shared, you look great, dude. So
Thank you.
rock it, bro. You'd be like, I'm sexy, that. Maybe we'll make a cologne.
Hey, I'll take it.
We'll just call it Impa.
I like it. There we go.
Impa.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
You want to smell like a winner? Try Impa. We're gonna be rich, dude. All right. So enough goofing off stuff. So we got to talk about two fights. The last two fights. You fought Joaquin Buckley a while back. You're going to be forever on a highlight reel that probably nobody wants to be on the end of. Let's just be honest. I mean, nobody wants to be, the highlight reel or the posterized, like, from Jordan or Shaq or Kobe, when they slammed hard on somebody, So obviously that kick to the face that you took, you don't want to be remembered for that. You're going to be, though. I mean, you're part of that thing. It was it was one of those moments, one of the most incredible knockouts in UFC history. Some people don't come back from stuff like that. You came back, and not only did you come back, you came back in a lighter weight class, and you won via choke against a very tough, seasoned guy, Sasha Palatnikov, and you did it with no hooks. So your last two fights, the finishes in both, one didn't go your way, and one was an incredibly crazy. Who finishes choke without the hooks in? Impa Kasanganay does, people. So just, and I'm sure you've been asked this question 1,000 times, just replay that night with Buckley, what you went through. Because, I mean, as a fighter and I'm sure a fight fan, if that wasn't you on the receiving end of that, you'd probably be going, holy shit, that was incredible. But knowing you, you're probably going to say, holy crap, that was incredible anyway, because you're that guy. You're not going to, try to crap on somebody's shine. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. It was a great shot, great kick. And for me, it's like, I was telling people, it didn't bother me that I got knocked out. It didn't bother me that more than anything that I lost, and like what could I do to get better. And that whole night, but that night, it's so crazy because it's a double-edged sword that night. My dad's courting me for the first time ever, right? The flag that I got to carry out, my dad sewed together. I felt great going into the fight. And I got in there, I didn't fight how I needed to, just started slow and didn't listen, didn't fight how I needed to. Started picking it up, and then that happened, right? And I look on it, and you get tagged in every day. But it's funny because, so that fight, fast forward, right? Even after this weekend, I have the finish and all this stuff, and people are like, "Oh, you did great, you did wonderful," and then somebody says, "You got knocked the bleep out," and I was like, it's like, you know what? Thanks for the reminder, though, because that's kind of like what you need.
Yeah.
Even on a week of just great blessings and being lifted up and being praised in many ways, right? There's always that reminder to say, like, hey man, stay on your horse, stay on it, and keep going. And that's pretty cool. So that whole night, right? I just went over there, we fought, we lost, and I was like, dang, I lost. And I remember actually, I got in the back, and I was in the back room. They were checking me out with the first doctor before I went to the hospital. And I was talking to them, man, okay, how'd this happen? Whatever. They kind of explained it to me. And I'm hearing all this talking. It's all loud and kind of coming to. And I had a little scratch over my eyelid, from maybe getting punched or something in the fight. And I remember I teared up for 2 seconds, and it burned. And I just learned at that moment there's nothing to cry over, right? I just remember looking at my dad, and I was like, man, I'm sorry. He's like, yeah, I wish you could have seen me fight how I know I can. And then I just remember right when I was about to tear up, it burned so bad, and I was like, you have nothing to worry about. And what do you need to do? Then I walked outside, and I bumped into Danny Ruby, the manager. Not my manager, just a manager in the UFC. I've seen him a few times manage some of my friends. And I asked him, what could I have done better? He says, you're just, what you did was kind of lazy. You kept holding the kick. And I thought, okay, never be lazy again. And my dad and I were talking in the car, and, and then my post, and then I got to the hospital. I just started thinking, okay, what do I need to get better? What do I need to refine myself? And it was just a whole night of reflecting. And I just remember, dang, we didn't get what we wanted, but then you fast forward till now, and I thank God for that fight, because I would have never moved to South. I would never came down, because I was so comfortable where I was, but I just didn't have the consistency and training partners that I needed at the time. Jimbo's a great gym coach. Jimbo's an amazing coach, and he's the one who even told me, he's like, why don't you check out Sanford? Why don't you go down there and check out what's best for you? Not many coaches would do that. So it's I started opening up things. I haven't really talked to those guys a lot, much recently, but it's been you're thankful for that path in your life. You're thankful for somebody who's willing to say, I think you should check somewhere else out to make yourself better. And that it was just it's kind of a lot of lessons in life, and I really have a lot of love for them and respect in that aspect. Then you fast forward and you get to Sanford, and man, talk about challenging. talk about you said you want some consistency, some challenge, you come to Sanford. And
it's like going from Little League Baseball to Major League Baseball, just like that.
And it's every day.
And that's not a shot at Jimmy when I say Little League Baseball, but it's a smaller pool you had up there. A lot less guys, and you walk into here, and there's got to be 50, 60, 80 guys sometimes in the gym. Whole different world.
Whole different world, different skill sets, different backgrounds, new ways, and so you start to figure it out. But they all are consistent. They all have a different goal and a different, just I said, then you meet great guys, and it's awesome. But you also see it was just different. It was just kind of what I needed at the time in my life, and what I still do need. And I'm grateful. So I kind of, I came down here, checked it out. I was like, hey, this is where I need to be. Where am I going to demand the best of myself? And everybody in life has a different path and a different lot, like from God. So like when you have something for yourself in your life, it's like, you know, you have an amazing show. There's another person out there interviewing somebody, maybe in South Dakota, but their show is for them, and what you have is for you. And I couldn't
Yeah.
get caught up. I couldn't get caught up in like what other people have and what I don't have. So like being here, this is what I needed, and being when I was at gym was what I needed then, and it's bigger than me. It's it's from my family, so it's been super cool. And ever since that night, and I always thank God. I remember I used to be like, dang, tagged in that video literally every day after that, like for months. Um, even after this fight, like it's crazy. It's like you're cool. You're like, it just shows you that there's so much more in you, and I can get better, right? And then talking about this fight, man, I had a different approach to it, a different mindset, different, different way to look at it. Like I knew I was going out there to go get that finish, whatever way
Yeah.
it was, knockout, um, TKO, like whatever way it was. I just knew I was going out there to leave. I was not like going out there. I'm gonna do that every single fight. That's my
Sure.
focus, right? And I told myself that. I wrote that down. I'm gonna finish every fight after this fight, and it was cool because I said there are a few interviews people asked me like, "Oh, what about that fight?" I said, "Yeah, replay that highlight as many times as you want. But the day I have the belt, replay that. Replay that highlight as many times as you want. But when I have my great finishes, replay those too." And like
Absolutely.
you saw that this past fight, but I can do even better, and I will. And that's what I kind of just told myself. It was a different mindset, man. Like Coach Jones was in my corner, Coach Lentz, my teammate Delano Taylor, and just I thank God for those guys. But all my training partners, Phil Hawes, um, gosh, Sato. Like I can go through the list, and I would not have time to finish this interview with all the people that I've trained with. But Coach Roach, all my coaches, man, the Coach Hooft,
I know you got everybody.
right? And that's kind of like I remember I got to the gym and Coach Hooft, when I first got there, he's like, "There's no reason for you not to have a spectacular performance in your next fight." And my mom was like, "Don't feel sorry for anybody." And then one of the most touching things I heard before going to this fight was my dad. He says, "Don't don't come home with an excuse of why you lost, right?" Like in a way, like. But it's funny. My dad knows how to talk to me like nobody else, and I share this to say like sometimes you need people who say like you're special, you have something that you can do, but don't come like he's not saying don't come back home, but don't come home with like an excuse of why you lost because you didn't do your best. You didn't go out there. You didn't fight the way you needed to. Go out there. Go handle your job. Go to work. Do your work. And your work is to go finish that fight. Your work is to go get that victory. And there was a click in my head where I was like, I don't care what I have to do. This is bigger than me. And I'm not just going out there to have fun. Like I used to go into fights and it was like, I don't mind it being 3 rounds because I love to fight. I'm like, let's go. But then I was like, no, like I'm going out there to do a job, and I've been around the best, and I've been around people who challenge me. I've lost rounds in the gym. I've been cut. I couldn't get up. It's like I had to go figure out ways to get better. And my dad told me that he's just like, because he knows in his heart, he's like, how much I love this, and going into that fight and every fight from this point forward, it's like it's gonna just be that much better.
Yeah. Well, you don't get paid by the hour, so you might as well go in there and get the work done. I mean,
Yeah.
quick as you can. Get in, get out, sustain little damage, and move on to the next one. So the finish, let's jump right into that finish. You were working him over, you got him down on the ground, you got on his back, you sunk in a choke, but there was no hooks, dude. And
Hmm.
I can't recall really any time in the UFC. I mean, maybe once or twice I can remember where I've seen a choke finished from the position you were in where there was no hooks in. So I got to ask, um, is that something you've done in the gym? You practiced doing it without the hooks, or it was just you couldn't get them in, but you knew you had the choke and you just said, screw it, I'm going for it?
Well, I've done it before, but Coach, I've been training with Coach Wagner Rocha down here, and he's talking about different positions. When you're finishing a rear naked choke, it actually not too maybe practice before we were kind of just talking about making it MMA fight, but you really don't need the hooks, right? Like you just how you do it now. I know I struggled with it in the gym, and it wasn't something I really thought of like this I'm gonna do, but I felt it in the fight. And once I had the choke in, and when I put my head position was more important, and just like where I had my hips aligned, it was just not falling over the top and just sagging my weight. But when I when I got to that position in the fight, I kind of just knew. I remember I had my eyes open, like one eye open. I was watching his hand, and I was like, he's gonna tap. And I just told myself too, like, I'm gonna believe in this. I'm finishing this fight. I'm not letting this go. I was either gonna put him out, or like, or or he's tapping. But there were no other options. And I I just knew that's when I had my finish. And I don't want to make too many adjustments. I feel like sometimes you can get caught up in trying to make too many adjustments. And you watch my first fight in the Contender Series, could have choked Kalen Hill out. I missed that one. Second fight in the
Yep.
Contender Series, I let go of a choke and I heard Anthony Adams gargling. I said, not this time. Like, no, not this time. Like, this time, like, this guy's going out. And, like, I know I came there to do my work and finish the fight. It was, and, you know, I felt it was there. Could just feel like he was ready to concede and it was our job.
Yeah, it was there because you got the finish, man. But I tell you, man, your last two fights, both of them highlight real finishes. Obviously, the one, you don't want to, glorify, but I like how you addressed it. Show it to me every time. Every time I win a fight, go ahead, show me that one, but make sure you show my highlight that I just won. I love that attitude, and I love that you used it as motivation. And I'll say this too, even though it didn't put your name in people's minds and mouths because of something you did that was spectacular, they know your name. With that knockout, some people learned your name just from that knockout, and now they see you and go, all right, let's watch this guy again. So it's weird how taking a loss like that actually probably grew your fan base a little bit, because now people came back and saw you watch and go, oh, I got to watch that guy. He got knocked out the last time. Holy shit, he choked that guy out with no hooks in. Now they're like, the people that get it are going to move past that fight. I mean, it's always going to be there. But, I feel like for you just had to get past that fight. You took your loss. It was first loss, pro loss. You took it in stride. I'm probably one of the most humble guys and most accepting of a loss of any MMA athlete I've ever spoken to in my life. Some guys don't deal with it well. I wasn't worried about that with you because I know your faith in the Lord above is so strong and entrenched inside your soul that like you stated basically, you're going to have those ups and downs in life, but that the Lord is in your corner as long as you do what you're supposed to do and be a good, human being, and you follow the Lord and you live life in His image. Your good things are going to come, and that's just what happened for you against Sasha Palatnikov. And I'll say this to you guys, you guys know Sasha's been on the show. I like Sasha a lot. When they booked this fight, it was one of those fights going, man, I hate that they booked two guys that I really cared about that are really good people. I just do. But somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. So Sasha, if you're watching, you're in here, bro. I still love you. And, just like Impa, he hit a speed bump. It's just a speed bump, bro. You'll get back. Who knows? Maybe one day you guys will dance in the future again for a title shot or for a title. You just don't know. It's all crazy. Are you staying at welterweight?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I'm staying at welterweight. Open to going. In a short notice at 85, or stepping in when there's an 85 fight or anything above that. Like I'm here to go to work.
Nothing above 85, dude.
Nah,
85 and 70. Hey, go down. Do you think you could go down to lightweight if you really wanted to?
If I want to, I have to make myself. I have to do a lot of work, but I would make myself. I can do anything.
I can't.
Every title welterweight and up, and I'm gonna.
I can't imagine you at lightweight. I was thinking about it. I was like, I can't believe I just asked you that, because you are such a thick, solid built human being. And you at 155. It would look so crazy, against some of these guys. You'd be like, after you cut. Wow. That power you brought down there, if you could get down there healthy, my God, the power you bring, because you're a strong man as well. I've watched you hit people. I've watched you hit mids in the gym. I would not want to be on the receiving end of an Impa Kasanganay punch. And luckily, I won't ever be. Woo! Thank goodness. So you took that loss. You took it like a champ. And you just got that win. You took it like a champ, man. I'm so proud of you for what you're accomplishing in life, dude. It's good stuff, man. And you're staying the course. You're not getting too big for your britches. You're not letting, being in the UFC turn you into somebody that you never intended to be and you never will be. So, I love you, dude. Fucking, you know how I am. I love you, dude. We shared a ring together a couple times, and you really made an impact on me. You did. There's a lot of people I meet in this sport, as you know, and some of them just sit with you forever, and you're one of those guys. So
Thank you, sir.
I'm
Same to
glad I
you.
got to witness the beginning and the continued journey, man. And may God stay in your corner and
Thank
keep
you.
you
God
blessed.
bless you. God bless you, my man. Thank you so much.
Always, man. Always. We'll get you on again real soon. I want to say thank you for taking the time tonight. It looks like you probably just got out of the gym as well. So,
Just
that's your
hanging out,
life, and I
yeah.
love it. Well, listen,
Yeah,
safe
for
travels
sure.
back to the house. Enjoy the beach. Your
Thank you.
modeling career. I can't wait to see what you come out with, man. And maybe you get me fitted up on one of your shirts, and sign it for me or
Hey,
something.
come on down. Come on down.
I
You gotta stay
will.
in Liberty for sure.
Dude,
Hey,
I'll come
take
down
you
and
to
see
it.
you, man. Like
I'll take you,
after
brother.
my anniversary, it's in like 3 weeks. So we'll see you soon.
Hey,
Like I said,
for
stay
sure.
safe and God bless, dude. And we'll talk
Thank you.
again soon. Boys and girls, that was Impa Kasanganay, Mr. Chi Lobo himself, man. Follow him all over social media. He's a superhuman being, excellent fighter, and get on the train, baby. Because once it pulls out that station, man, I'm kicking all you like wannabes off. Impa, be well, brother.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right, good night. Boys and girls, we're going to move right into our next guest. He was supposed to join us. Well, actually, my next guest was supposed to be Matt Riddle from WWE. We had to cancel that. He had something pop up with WWE, and that takes precedence over my podcast. My third guest that was scheduled actually jumped up, and I appreciate him on last minute notice to jump in. He's a cool dude, man. I watch his page. He's got a fucking fat ass whip, dude. That fucking Honda with the fucking red, dude. I love his car. I love the way he fights. I love him. He's just a real dude. So we're going to bring him in right now. For the very first time, I'd like to welcome William Knight joining us on KHR Christopher James. What's up, big dog?
What's up? What's up?
Oh, we're living the dream. The nightmare is here, and he is alive and well. So thank you for jumping on. Glad to meet you like this. One of these days, I'll actually meet you at an arena when you're fighting in the UFC. I try to meet every fighter that I talk to on my show in person at least once in life. So hopefully that'll come soon. First thing I said was your whips, dude. You got some fucking, you loving that Honda, man. That red Honda you be pimping and you want to get the rims all painted up and dip, man. Is that your side thing, your hobby? Some of the fighters are, gamers and other stuff, but I always see you posting about your cars. Is the car thing your love, the place where you can go and just escape from life?
Yeah, man. The car business is my life, man. The side gig is fighting. That's the side gig. Like, believe it or not, that's the true side gig, man. But
That's
my number
awesome.
one is cars, man. I love cars. I love building them. I love when they come to life. I love how they sound. I love how they perform. I just love everything about them. I believe a car that a person drives describes a person. Like my car is aggressive, fast. Like each
Yeah.
car you sit in, it stands out to you because it matches your personality. So
Well, I drive a 2018 Altima. I don't know what the hell that says about me, man, but I'll have to go look it up, see what Altima means for my personality. Because I think I'm a little crazier personality-wise than my car, but the practical side of me said, you know what, I got to have a car. I'm 52 years old. I got to have something and this thing gets mileage, and I put a lot of mileage on driving the shows and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. My wife and I take road trips all the time. So I needed something that was going to last on the road. And this is my third Altima. And I'm approaching 1 million miles total in 3 Ultimas since 2002. I'm on the road a lot. So, but maybe I'll bring it up to you and let you put the nightmare treatment on it, man. Put on some rim, ceramic coat the car, powder coat my wheels for me, hook it up.
you get to places much faster, trust me.
Oh, shit, yeah, bro. So, what is the favorite car for you? I mean, you have the Honda that I see all the time, but is that one of many cars or is that the car?
I mean, when you say favorite car, it can be anything because my originality comes from the Nissan world, but due to circumstances, my first project car was a Honda. So ever since that, I studied and learned it and just stayed comfortable with the results and stayed comfortable in the circle that I was in, and then it evolved. The engine swaps, the turbos, nitrous, superchargers, naturally aspirated. You got a little 300 horsepower, 90s 300 horsepower car, looks like a normal car, and it's fucking keeping up with freaking BMWs, Mercedes, and I'm blown by them, all sorts of shit. Shit's crazy.
And it's funny because, I'm sitting there talking to you, and I've seen interviews with you talking about fighting and everything. And in this first 4 minutes of this, I've realized that what you said to me at the beginning was true. The cars are your business. The fighting is side hustle. Because I don't think I've ever seen you this excited talking about a frickin' fight. And here's the thing. I know you like the fight. I know you enjoy that part of life, but I'm totally convinced now that you are a car guy. You're bred through and through. Maybe, and the fight thing was just, hey, well, I can do this too, beat some people up and then go back here and make more money so I can do my business, which are my cars. So, do you want to talk about fights or just want to talk about cars tonight? Because I can do whatever the hell you want, bro.
No, man, you got me on here. Let's talk. Let's talk.
No, hey, listen, and I'm being totally serious. See, here's the thing about my show. Since you've never been on, I am not your typical guy. Like I tell guys, if you want to have a beer on the show, if you want to smoke a joint, a blunt, your bong, I don't give a shit, man. If you want to say fuck, shit, piss, goddamn, say it. The only thing I tell people I don't want to do on the show, I don't want to get into religion. I don't want to get into politics because everybody's got an opinion. And you know what? At the end of the day, whether you're on this side of the fence politically or this side of the fence politically, if you're on this wing or this wing, we're all on the same plane. So it doesn't really matter, man. So we try to avoid that. But cars, fights, TV shows, any other sports, we talk about anything. We've had some stupid conversation on this show about some of the dumbest stuff in the world. But, it's all good because I just like you to be yourself, you know what I'm saying? And I'm seeing you right now being yourself with the cars. I'm going, well, shit, man, maybe you just want to talk about cars for half an hour. I don't care, dude, whatever. Whatever makes you happy, dude, that's what I'm here to help you do. But the car thing, you took a road trip. So let's get into the fight thing. So you were in Vegas, set for a fight. COVID protocols, interfered. So you and your coach had to drive home from Vegas all the way back to Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you something. When you guys got in that car, you started that trip, and I'm going, oh my God, road trips. My wife and I got married because, first of all, I knew I was going to marry anyway. But the thing I had to do with her before we got married was I needed to go on a long road trip with her. If you can survive a road trip with somebody, for 15, 20, up to 40 hours in a car and still not kill each other, those people will be in your life forever. My wife and I, we like I said, we take road trips all the time, but I had to do a long one in the beginning of our relationship just to kind of feel her out because I'm always in the car. So I knew. So when I saw you and your coach going, and he was sleeping a little, and I saw a little bit, you were sleeping, but you guys seemed like you were getting along good, and it's a long trip. And I was like, man, these guys get it. So this guy, whether he coaches you for the rest of your life or you're just friends, you guys will be friends forever. There's nothing that's going to break that bond because you survived that trip. You didn't kill him. He didn't kill you. Was there any moments where you wanted to kill each other?
Nah,
see, I know.
It was just like, I don't know, it was bonding. It was having mad fun, talking, listening to crazy music. Got to see some shit, like different sides of each other, conversation, just a lot of things happened in that 40-hour trip.
You learn people in a car, man, because there's no place to go. You either sit in silence or you talk. And what was the coolest thing you learned about him on the way home?
Well, I used to think he was hard on me and stuff, but I found out that he looks at me as like a son. So like that I never knew. In 5 years I've been training with him, I never knew that. So I learned
that's a good thing to have a coach that looks at you like you're one of his own. And it means something because I'm sure good coaches look at everybody like they're important, but every coach I know, there's always been a few students that stand out to them that are like a son. It doesn't mean he doesn't love his other students. There's just a special bond between some coaches and some of their students. And so you got that with him, dude. And that's a beautiful thing to have. I mean, that's really all joking and, being silly aside, that's something that every student should want with their coach, especially an athletic, in athletics, that's what you want. You want that bond where he's going to look out for you like you're his son, and you're going to look out for him and follow his orders like he's your dad to some degree, and have that. That's awesome, man. Did you see anything cool on the way home that stood out to you? A landmark or a historical spot.
That road trip went from hot to snow to icy roads to rain to speed limit 75 and the minimum 65. I'm like,
nice.
This is crazy. Farm animals, like farming, big machines, crazy tractors. I'm like, yo, like everything.
Was that stuff like you've never seen before?
Yeah, mountains and elevations as far as 8,700 feet above
Yep.
elevation and shit like that. Like, yo, this is crazy. So like that little experience was crazy. It was really crazy.
But now that you've done that, you did it out of necessity because you obviously couldn't fly home that for them to trip. So,
Yeah.
but now that you've done a long road trip like that, probably the first time you ever took one that long, does it make you want to get in the car again, like with friends and family, and maybe go take a road trip and see some of the country because you get to see stuff a whole different way when you're on the road.
Yeah, I mean, but in a bigger car because they gave us a little a Chevy hybrid, and that was pretty small. But yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I
It'd be
wouldn't
cool.
mind it as long as I ain't doing all the driving. You know what I mean?
You
I
know
would
what,
like to
dude?
do some pictures.
I'll come up to you. We'll rent a car, bigger car, and we'll do a road trip and we'll film every freaking minute. And you know what? I'll drive the whole time. You can just sit back and you can enjoy the view. Because
Don't get me wrong, I like to drive. I like to drive too, but it has to be something with some pep in the step. You know?
well, we want to survive the road trip too. Remember, I
Oh,
mean,
we gonna
it's
survive. We gonna survive.
all right. So we'll rent us like a Ferrari and we'll just do a roadie in a Ferrari.
Oh, then we'll get home in 20 hours. We're golden.
Actually, I
So
was looking the other day. I saw the longest continuous road, I believe, in the world, takes you from Alaska all the way down to the southern tip of South America. It goes through like 14 countries. It covers 29,000 miles. Um, let's do that one, bro.
as long as we're in the Ferrari and the gas is unlimited.
And we'll get sponsors to pay for all of it for us. And the only thing I'll need for that trip is my phone, a charger, couple pairs of shorts and maybe a heavy jacket and some, I need one suitcase because we'll stop and do laundry along the way. I need my phone, I need my charger, and I just got to be able to stop to buy weed all the way along the trip, and I'm good. And make sure the cameras don't die. That's it. GoPros everywhere.
Yeah.
We'll have a blast, dude. It'll be fucking awesome. So you did the road trip, you went home, again, and that was disappointing. COVID stuff, it's gotten away for a lot of people this year and over the last year. But you took it like a champ. You went home, you weren't feeling real great. You got yourself back healthy, got right back in shape, and you got right back into a fight. So tell us how quickly that all came about for you, because there's been some fighters that have dealt with COVID stuff, and we haven't seen them pop back even yet. Some of them have taken more time. It didn't seem to really stop your flow.
So what happened was I found out I was supposed to fight Alonzo Menenfield in about
Right.
Around November. So I'm like, okay, cool. February was the fight date. February didn't happen because he got COVID.
Right.
All right, cool. So they gave us the end of March. Then end of March comes, that Tuesday of the week of the fight, I got COVID. So they test me, then Wednesday I find out I have COVID, and Wednesday we leave, same time. So we leave, we get the rental, we left, we got home on Friday afternoon. So, long story short, all this happened. I'm under quarantine. I don't get to train. I don't get to do shit. So I can't leave. I can't do nothing because I don't want to get myself in trouble with the UFC spreading this or anything with the CDC or anything like that. So I followed the rule. As soon as I got off quarantine, I had 2 days to do something, literally. And then on the third day, we're on the plane. So it's like, damn, I didn't get to train or do anything, but the amount of training I've done in the past 5 years, I'm like, I could do anything. But mind you, these 3 times, every time my fight got canceled, it was in the process of weight cutting.
Yep.
So my body went through this in a matter of 60 days, not even.
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, cool. Fighters fight. Not only did I have COVID and went through a three cycle weight cut, I'm about to fight some dude who I just find out the day I'm fighting, he hasn't lost in 14 fights. So it's like, oh shit. Why did I take this fight? I'm like, no, fuck it.
Wait, hold on. He said, "Why I take this fight? I fucking love you, dude. I love you."
I'm telling my coach, I'm like, fuck it, let's get it
Uh,
done though. And
uh.
he's like, yeah, you're gonna do it. We're gonna get this done. So, all right, cool. I didn't get to do none of the training I usually do. So I truly respect training. I truly respect training. Dudes who take fights on these days' notice. I used to say, man, fighters fight. You used to always be training. Yeah, always be training. At least if before I took fights on last 1 day notice, 2 days notice, a week notice, I was training.
Right.
I did this without training and having COVID, being
Yeah.
sick, not
Damn.
eating for almost 4 days.
Wow.
I didn't eat for 4 days. I didn't have an appetite. And I was just drinking water and sweating it out. Like I was 116 pounds, 116. And I was hit sleeping all day and just
You
my
weren't
body felt
116,
weak.
bro.
It was like I felt weak,
Wait,
weak as hell.
William. You said 116 pounds. You weren't 116 because
216.
you said what? I was like,
216
damn, bro,
pounds.
that's a lot, dude. That's a weight cut, bro.
216 pounds, my bad.
No,
So
if you get to 116, bro, then you are the weight cutting king, and everybody should come to you for advice and pay you a lot of money.
I'm still a weight cutting king. I
God dang right.
figured out the formula. But yeah, I take the fight. Mentally, I'm ready, everything else. This is like physically, mentally, all that. Like I'm me. But the first 2 minutes of the fight, I was throwing hands and I tried to go for a takedown. I got reversed. Dude's tall, man. It is what it is. But all my
He's
tricks
tall.
that I usually use wasn't there. But my mindset was on striking. Like that's all it was on. I wasn't even on grappling, like wrestling or grappling. I'm like, man, this is a striker's fight. I gotta stay striking. So the first 2 minutes, I break my nose, crunk. I believe it got broken, anyways. I'm pretty sure it was broken. That was a lot of blood that fight.
Yeah, it was.
I was just running like a faucet. And long story short, there's just me a matter of not choking on my blood and just trying to keep the fight standing. And it didn't go in my favor. So I was like, okay, cool. Just got off COVID. Just went through back-to-back weight cuts. And I just went 3 rounds with a man who hasn't lost in 14 fights.
Why'd I take that fight? That was the best
Like,
fight ever on my show, dude.
Like, these dudes don't realize that was an accomplishment to me. On the stand-up, I took him on the stand-up. The only way that he had to stop me was on the takedowns. So that's cool. I heard DC, I heard everybody saying, oh, you don't have wrestling. Well, not DC, but I heard people saying, where's your wrestling? You can't wrestle, you can't grapple. So I laugh because when I fought in Abu Dhabi, that's what I used was wrestling and everything. So
Yeah,
people
like,
are like,
what the hell
oh,
are these
you're
people
a
looking at?
wrestler. Your grappling is crazy. Your cage awareness is crazy. And then my next fight, I'm being told I don't have grappling. That says a lot about the UFC fans. The ones that truly watch you, that support me, and then the ones that were like, oh, you suck. If I sucked, then I wouldn't be known for my wrestling.
I know. It baffles me that people would even question that you have like any kind of wrestling pedigree. Like, duh. Have you watched this guy fight before? Like, have you paid attention? I mean,
Exactly.
have you watched one fight? Because I think this fight that you just had is probably one of the only fights I've seen where you didn't really use any of it. Like,
Yeah.
it wasn't, every other fight I've seen, there's been some grappling, some wrestling from you. I mean, so for you guys that are questioning if he has it, man, the fuck's wrong with you, man? Are you a fight fan, or you just like to show up like you only watch the fights when he's punching and then you take a piss when he's wrestling? What the hell's going on? I mean, come on.
That's what makes me laugh. I'm like, yo, I know that was my off night, and I give my opponent credit. He beat me. Cool.
Yeah.
If I ever run into him again, it's gonna be a different story. I can assure you that.
Well, you went 3 rounds with the guy. You had no training camp to speak of, which means, and you know what? The training camp for you in this case would have benefited you as far as cardio and your stamina for the fight, but you couldn't do any of that. Your fight skill is there. I don't question your fight skill. Like, you could have, if you had just cardio to stay in shape training, cardio, and so your weight cut was a little easier with the 216, you didn't have to work. and when I say this, I don't say this to every fighter. Obviously, you always want to work and improve, but where you are in your career right now, you could have taken that fight without, doing any sparring or grappling work before the fight, as long as you were able to get the cardio right, because that's one of the biggest factors.
Yeah.
Because your skill's there. I mean, it's there. You're the fucking UFC. It's there. We know, and we know that you're going to improve. You're still a young man. You're working your way up through this thing. I mean, everybody improves as they go. So you're not the best version of yourself yet. I do feel exactly what you said. I think the cardio, and now that I know the whole backstory of how it went down, I attribute a lot of what took place in that fight to not having time, because you were quarantined.
Exactly.
And
I took the fight for my fans. I didn't fight since September, and I'm not saying I was pressured, but if I didn't take this fight for April, y'all wouldn't have been able to see me to fight until June, July.
Right.
So it's like fighters fight. I jumped on it. I had no choice. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. Because I was complaining. I'm like, yo, I have COVID. I need at least the 2 weeks. Like, how do I look having COVID for 2 weeks and then getting cleared just in time to fight? Like, that's crazy. I'm not going to be able to go nowhere, train, do nothing.
And you still look pretty damn good, bro. So, I mean,
and I'm not even mad, bro. I'm not even mad. I'm like,
no, you're laughing. You're like, fuck it. I made some more money. I can go put it in one of my cars. Fuck
yeah,
it.
like, I'm straight. Everybody's like, oh, this, that, and the third. I'm like, yo, y'all don't even know what I dealt with. Like, this whole time I've been grinding to fight a man named Alonzo Menifee. And we know how we were training to fight him. My coaches did whatever they had to do. They taught me what I needed to learn. They were showing me a thing. And then while I get COVID, the same day I get COVID, I accept another fight against somebody who wasn't getting matched because people were scared of him or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
so
right.
he was grateful that I took the fight, like truly grateful. Like I never seen somebody so grateful. He had nothing bad to say about me, nothing. Like most people who like to talk shit after they win. I'm like, that's not my style, man. Like we both put our life on the lines, and I don't do much shit talking unless we have some bad blood, and I just don't like you.
Right.
But
if that guy was really grateful that you took the fight, he would have given you his win bonus. I'm just saying, man.
He just had a kid. I think.
No, I know.
He had a kid and stuff, So
yeah, no, he did. Business. So funny story, guys. The fight that William was taken out of because of COVID and Menfield fought a couple of weeks back. I put up my picks and everything, and one of the first comments coming up was William Knight going, "Would you have picked him against me?" Like I felt like the pressure from you. Like you come and you're like, and I was like, and honestly, I wouldn't have picked him against you. But like I told you, I picked him against another guy because he should have won that fight. There was no reason that he shouldn't have been the favorite. He had everything on his side in that fight, so I had to pick him.
Yeah.
But if you and him were fighting, if that fight does finally get booked, I'm going to pick you. And it's not because we're talking. It's not because you came on my show. It's because I think you present a problem to him. He's a stand-up. He's a stand-up fighter. And he moves somewhat stiff. But he's got a lot of power, and if he connects, he can. I don't care who you are, he can knock you out. But the way he moves versus the way you move, your footwork is better. You're keeping your head off the center line, and of course, your non-existent grappling. Idiots. Your grappling, I think, is better than his. And I think with that fight, you got to start standing bang, and I think you'll end up putting him on his back, and
I'm gonna love that standing bang, man.
Like, I know you will, but you're gonna put him on his back because I know that's what you're supposed to do.
I come from the striking world of fighting heavyweights and Muay Thai, and in my amateur career, I know what it feels like to be behind power, and I'm still standing there, still there. So it don't matter to me, man. Like power is there for everybody. Got power. Everybody got power. But my heart and durability presents a problem for every man. And I just proved that for April 10th.
Yeah, you
my
did.
Broken nose, and I was still grinding. He was grinding my nose on the floor, elbowed me, and I still was coming at him. Until the last second of the fight, where I got that little submission and I didn't have enough time to finish that. But I was trying to show y'all something.
Well, just remember, man.
Purple.
he was. And again, I just go back to what you said, that people are questioning that you have grappling, you don't have wrestling, you don't have grappling. Like, you're stupid, people. He does. Yeah, maybe. I have a question from one of my viewers. His name's Forrest Daniels. He wants to know, how did you get the nickname Nightmare? Was it strictly because of your last name?
Nah, so I'm a vidiot. Yes, I'm a gamer too. I got the
Amen,
name
brother.
Nightmare from a game called Soul Blade, or you can call it Soul Calibur. There's a character in the game called Siegfried, but he had his alter ego named Nightmare. And that character, each character stands out to somebody, and that's the character that stood out to me because his alter ego, how he's trying to be a good person, and this darkness that brewed in him over time is in there. You know what I'm saying? And that was just me. My childhood created darkness, and me as an adult now, I'm trying to be like, I'm trying not to let that be the deciding factor of how I make my life choices.
Yeah, no, that's pretty deep. I mean, forget the fact that you stole the dude's nickname. I mean, what's up with that shit? No, no, but I do understand what you're saying. Everybody's got, and you said your childhood, it was the nightmare. I mean, there's a lot of people who have that, and it's what you do when you become a grown up. To, when you're a child, you don't always have a choice, but as an adult, you
Yeah.
have all the choices.
Mhm.
So, it's what you do now as a man that defines who you are for the rest of your life. So, do you do the good? Do you do the bad? I mean, and we're all human. We're all going to make mistakes along the way. But as long as your intention is to be good along the way, that's all you can do. And
Yeah.
don't. They always say don't go out in life and try to hurt people. Intentionally. Now you're a fighter. Your job is to hurt people intentionally. But it's a grander meaning than that. It's like, don't go out to hurt people, emotionally or mentally or whatever. Now, if you're a professional fighter, go out there and fuck somebody up, dude. That's what you get paid to do.
Got it, man. Shake your hand at the end, man. Clap
Yeah.
for him and shake your hand at the end. That's it.
It's all about the respect, and I also want to say this, I'm actually going to write an article about this next week to put on my website. But my favorite thing about talking to MMA guys really is, and bare knuckle fighting guys, because I talk to a lot of them now too. The accessibility that the professional MMA athlete or combat sport athlete has, and they've extended to their fan bases. A lot of the guys like you play video games. You're playing games with some of your fans along the way, and you allow that. You do. And they know who you are. You put your gamer tags out there, and you invite fans to go play games with you online. It's a safe space for you to interact with fans. Let them have a little fun with you. And maybe not worried about getting stabbed in the face by like a stalker fan. I mean, so
Yeah.
at least in real life, I mean, stab you in the video game, cool, whatever. You kick my ass in the game, dude, but don't come near me in real life with that shit. But even other stuff like interacting on social media, chatting with fans back and forth on Facebook, I know a lot of guys in media that cover NFL and Major League Baseball and the NBA. And, one of the things we talked about, what sport has the luckiest fans as far as being able to, connect with their athletes that they follow and respect. And every single one of them said UFC and MMA, because these guys are out there talking with these people. They see them at this, they do them at that, live in their local town, they train at a local gym, they eat at a local restaurant. Most of the MMA guys, other than Conor McGregor, don't try to act like they're better than everybody else. They're just, guys that, live in a community to do this job. For you, how cool is it that you have some fans, and you're growing your brand, you're worldwide right now, dude. I mean, people know who you are, but you're still like the same chill cat that you've always been. But how does it feel to you that you have the fans and that you get to interact with them? Do you appreciate it? Do you get pissed off at some of them sometimes for calling you out like, oh, you can't like the shit, like calling you out for can't wrestle and everything? Do you clap back at them, or do you just say, whatever?
No, I don't. I clap back at some people. So,
you should.
I'm still human. I'm still me. Like, you talk shit, I'm gonna talk shit to you. We can have a conversation. What the fuck? I ain't scared. At the end of the day, don't dish it if you can't take it. That's how I am. So
I am.
it's fun to interact with people and talk to people, see people, sign pictures. People send me envelopes. I sign pictures and send them out. It is what it is. If I
That's
can make
cool.
your day, then whatever, man. At the end of the day, I used to be on the receiving end of that, where I used to look up to people like Kevin Randleman and things like that. Like you got
Hell
those
yeah.
people. So
That's a
it's
good name
like,
to bring
okay,
up.
I don't wanna sit here and ruin anybody's day. Me doing what I do, just a reaction, a like, a message, a comment, sending back a picture. That person could be having a bad fucking year, and that one little thing just sparked them for the whole year. Like now their confidence is gained. So I don't think of a selfish mind and be like, nah, I ain't gonna message you. I ain't gonna do this to you. Like it is what it is. When Michael Jai White responded to me those years back, that was a big leap for me to jump
Nice.
inside mixed martial arts to one day meet this guy.
Michael
So
Jai
and look
White.
look where I am now in the
Look where
fucking
you are. You in the UFC.
UFC.
But
So
remember, it's your side hustle.
it is though. It really is.
That's what's crazy, dude. I mean, most of the guys that you hear have a side hustle like Stipe. He's a part-time fireman, but that's his side hustle. I mean, part-time fireman is not a full-time fireman. I'm not knocking him for being only a part-time. I mean, that's still a ballsy thing to do. That's a tough job. But so he's got that, and some other guys got some other little things, dude. But I don't know too many that are like, in the car business, like doing what you're doing with cars and, hey, just enjoying it. Like, do I want to fight this Saturday night, or do I want to fucking, rip out the engine in this, 2004 Honda and put it in this other 2007 Honda? Should I go watch fights tonight, or should I do the car? Fuck it.
Exactly.
I'm gonna
Got
record the
choices.
fights. I'm gonna record the fights. I'm gonna go work on this fucking car.
I got choices. That's what makes it fun.
That's what makes it awesome.
Or while I'm in the garage and put the screen on the wall and watching the fights while building the car.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I couldn't do that. Once I'm watching fights, I can't have any distractions. If I'm doing something else, because I'm love fights, and I write about them, I cover them, I gotta, know what I'm talking about. So when I interview guys, I've been a ring announcer for a long time. So I just, the fight game is my life, my love, it's my passion. And this is still my side hustle, even though I put a lot of time in this as much as I put into my full-time job, which is being a DJ. So,
Yeah, I hear you.
but got to do it, man. Hopefully one day, ESPN will go, you know what, man, let's get rid of Helwani and bring on this guy. He's a lot more fun, but if they don't, whatever, somebody's going to pick me up, and then, the world's going to be able to see me. So, but like your grind is different, in the gym, doing this. My grind is, with this, talking shit and talking, popping, fucking, whatever I got to do,
Yeah.
and you're part of my grind, because I have to reach out to guys like you and hope that you're willing to come on my show when I'm not Ariel Helwani, when I'm not on ESPN. But like I said, I mean, I just try to have fun with people and just talk to them like, we're people. Once in a while I'll be like, I'll ask a serious question like, so, you've lost 7 fights in a row. Do you feel your career's in jeopardy? Sometimes you have to ask the question, but other than that, I don't like to even ask the question that everybody asks. It's like, I mean, I could ask you right now, man, so how does it feel to take that loss? But I already know how it feels, losing sucks. I don't need to ask you that, dude. You explained how you felt after
losing. But that's the thing. Losing to me doesn't suck. The money aspect, of course, but when I lose, I'm reminded that I can still be beat. Sometimes I go on this little mindset where I keep winning and then become more
complacent.
not relaxed, but
Complacent.
like it's like ahead of yourself kind of, but in a sense of, all right, I know I got this. But then it starts to build pressure where you're like undefeated and the whole world's like, oh, you're never gonna lose. And now you have this weight on your fucking shoulders. Me losing, there's no such thing. I learned from that fight. I learned that technically, if I wanted to, I can cut 3 times in 8 weeks and make weight 3 times and fight 3 times and handle business 3 times. Like I'm always ready. I know that lesson that taught me that if UFC calls me right now and be like, Will, we need you for a light heavyweight fight for this Friday the 17th. Boom, let's go. I'm ready. I can do this. Take my COVID test, do my interviews, whatever, and fight Saturday coming up right now. That's how my weight is down. Like
Sure.
You never know. It's learning for me. It's never a loss. We lose all the time. People don't know. We lose every day, man. We lose every day. We lose people. We lose loved ones. We lose money. We lose opportunity. We lose things. Those are the things that matter in life. A loss
Yep.
in a sport is win, lose, draw for a reason. There's rematches. There's always trilogies. Like, yo, the fight game to me is always fun. Like when I race, when people beat my stock car, cool. I got something in the garage for you. I come back and pick up W, like, what up? You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
what it is, man. Like those losses are better. They're greater to me than a win because it forces me to become even better than what I am. So I love that feeling where I'm sitting here in that void and I'm like, yo, they have no idea what's about to happen when I come back. Yo, when I get in that mindset, I become a monster. So
Yeah. And I love the positive attitude about it. For me, I if I lost, like when I played sports when I was a kid, when I lost, I got pissed. And I wasn't playing for money or anything, but I just my pride because like I'm like I would go out and work harder to make sure we won the next game or I won the next game or I did better on but it just sticks in my freaking craw. I'm like the fucking that guy shouldn't have beat me, fucking when I wrestled for a little bit in junior high school, that kid shouldn't have beat me in that fucking
of
wrestling match.
course, I
But
said that.
but and listen, I'm 52, and there's a couple of them I had that just still piss me off because I can see it in my head still like it was yesterday. I'm like, that little motherfucker. I beat myself that day because I didn't do what
Yeah,
I could do. But he walked away with the win and fucking, and there's nothing I can do about it now. And it doesn't control my life. But once in a while, but if I think about it, like if I say, all right, let's think about the few times I wrestled, I go, oh, it's right there. It's right in the front of my brain. Like, oh. But
yeah,
I'm glad, a lot of fighters echo that sentiment about, it's not a loss if you learn from it. Impa Kasanganay, who was just on before you, he took that, knockout from Joaquin Buckley. I mean, that's one of the most, that's going to go down as one of the most incredibly famous knockouts in UFC history. He caught the kick, boom, done. And that night he took it in stride. He was like, man, it happened, man. That was a great move by Buckley. What the hell can I do?
yeah.
But he said after the fight, another manager that he saw in the hallway post fight on his way out, he said, "What could I?" He looked at the manager, goes, "What could I have done better?" And he goes, "You were lazy, the way you were catching the kicks and just holding them, and you were being lazy, and that's why that happened to you." And Input said, "I'll never be lazy again." Now his mission is not to go out there and fight 3 rounds; it's to go out there and fight and finish because he
Yeah.
knows he can. So he, well, I would not want to be known for that receiving end of that. Um, he took it all in stride, dude, and he turned it into a motivator. He dropped down to 170 because he felt now he could. No pressure at 185 anymore of trying to, be this guy. And like you said, he was comfortable there. It was easy
Yeah.
for him. He didn't have to do a heavyweight cut because he was, naturally, lean. So now he puts in a little extra work, and the result. I mean, he choked the dude out with no hooks, and which is not an easy thing to do. Got a big win, and you know that. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry, you don't know that because you don't grapple. What was I thinking? Stupid me. I'm sorry, guys. We're talking to William No Grappling Knight here. I keep bringing up and making a joke about it, dude, because anybody who said that has maybe only seen you fight once, and maybe it was only this last fight because that was the only fight that was kind of not there.
Yeah.
And based on the fact that you couldn't do any cardio training and get yourself into fight shape all the way, now it makes more sense to me than ever why you fought the way you did.
Yeah.
Because if you know that going into a fight, your cardio training wasn't there ahead of time, and you're going to have a war, why would you expend all that energy on the ground or trying to get to the ground? You got to stay
That's
in a
the
fight.
thing. Like,
That was brilliant, dude. I mean, that's called a fight IQ. That knows you knew going in where you were at and what you were capable of, and you
yeah,
didn't try to overdo, because if you overdo,
you
you're
burn
done. I
out.
mean,
I was
you burn out.
casual for that fight. I'm like chilling. Like, no lie. I'm like, yo, fight should be 5 rounds. Fight should be 5 rounds. I hate ramping up like in the last rounds like that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm starting to wake up. And I'm like, yo, people be like, they mistake me. Like, I don't need to lie. If I'm tired in a fight, I'm gonna tell you I'm tired in a fight. Dude just held me down. There's nothing I can fucking do other than try to escape. Like, you guys see me trying to escape in the third round,
I
slipping
did.
underarm, trying to move, all sorts of shit. That's like that stalling method heavyweights use when I used to wrestle them. They would score 1 point and then hold you down and just move around to act like they're doing something so they don't get called for stalling.
It's bullshit.
But that is what it is.
It is what it is. So, what's your overall thoughts now of being in the UFC? You know, you're there now. You know, you're going to be there for a little while. You know, I mean, the whole experience of going from the regional scenes and getting to the UFC, dude. And now you're a UFC athlete. You know, you got shit with your name on it. You know, again, people are reaching out to you for interviews. Besides me, I'm sure bigger names. But it's cool, right? And it's just cool sense that, I'm fucking in the UFC. You know, I mean, right? It's cool, right?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I used to sit there and watch Bellator. The fight that I watched before actually going to an MMA gym was Bobby Lashley and Bellator. It was like his
Nice.
second or third fight. And I was like, yo, I can do this shit. Yeah, I can do this shit. And 5 years later, I'm in the UFC. Like, it's like, damn, the UFC, bro. I had to make sure that that's what it was a couple times when I looked at those papers. Like,
Right.
the UFC, the same UFC I was watching on TV, the same UFC that I was watching when these people were fighting with gis on. I'm like, this is the same UFC when Shamrock was versus Gracie. Is this the same UFC? I'm like, okay, it is. It is the same UFC.
Yeah. Well, the letters are the same. It's a little different today, man. I would love. Wouldn't it be cool if the UFC like one night a year, one pay-per-view a year, they did like a throwback nostalgic night where they let you come out, and whatever. Even if the Venom were to design the outfits, let the guys come out in the sneakers and and the fucking
Yeah.
shoes and the gis and the singlets, and let them come out and pay tribute by wearing that old style. Obviously they're not going to bring back some of the old rules. But it would be cool, I mean, it would be a cool thing once a year to do that, and then you can come out, you could be whoever you want. I'm coming out in a gi and I'm fighting this motherfucker tonight. Oh, wait, I'm sorry, you don't grapple. You don't need a gi. What am I talking about, dude? I mean, you're coming out with like fucking Jordans on, and fucking, I don't know, dude. But it would be a neat thing, So maybe somebody in the UFC is watching this and will steal my idea. Or maybe William Knight will tell them, hey, I have an idea. You can tell them it was your idea. I don't give a shit, dude. Whatever. I'll just go to the media after and say I've got proof it was my idea, and then we'll have a big media feud, and I'll get famous, and we'll see each other in public. But I'll see you in public. I'll go, you stole my shit, motherfucker. Blah blah.
I give credit where credit's due, man. I don't steal people's credit.
I wouldn't care. I don't need the credit for anything in life. My credit in life is that I'm here and I get to wake up and breathe. That's my credit in life. All this stuff I get to do, this is all bonus. This is blessings. This is somebody upstairs looking out for me saying, this guy's passionate. We're gonna give him the opportunity to try to make his run. So that's what I do. That's how I look at it, man. And I'm not in the UFC, but I talk to UFC guys all the fucking time. So I'm almost in the UFC. What's the coolest thing that's happened to you since you become here's the standard question. What's the coolest thing that's happened to you since you've entered the UFC?
The hospitality, man. That junk, it's crazy. Limo, plane, the rooms, how they treat us when we get somewhere. They like prioritize us. And then like the interaction with people now, like when I talk to them, they're like, oh my gosh. They screenshot that I messaged them. Oh my goodness. And they tag me and shit like that stuff.
That's kind of cool, Man, you guys ain't gonna believe it. Look, it's me in the nightmare, bro. We took a selfie. That dude took a selfie with me, But you know what? That's fucking awesome that you appreciate that. Because that's what this is about. Without the fans, there's nothing. So even though some fans are fucking assholes and stupid sons of bitches and they talk some mad shit, you know what? They're still talking about you. So you must be doing something right,
Yep.
Whether they like you or not, they're talking about you, And even though, I mean, obviously they've exposed you now for not being a wrestler. So I mean, It's over, dude. I mean, they've exposed you.
Dang.
You're no longer a wrestler or a grappler. All those years you put into work and all
Yep.
that stuff doesn't matter.
I'm just a Muay Thai fighter now.
He's just a mechanic that fights sometimes. That's what he is, guys. I mean,
Yep.
that's it.
I race cars in low kick only.
Race car to the low kick only, dude. That's a winning formula right there, man. Those calf kicks are nasty, dude. If you're a big dude like yourself and you're landing calf kicks hard on somebody, that's deadly, dude. Chase Sherman, my dude, he's killing people with calf kicks. You know, his last 3 fights, um, he got kicked out of the UFC, fought some fights on his way back up, broke 2 dudes' legs with calf kicks, went to bare knuckle boxing or bare knuckle fighting championship, won a bare knuckle fighting title, became a fireman. Now he's back in the UFC. He's fighting Arlovsky this weekend.
Beast. He was
yeah,
supposed
but-
to fight my homie Parker.
I know. I love, dude. Parker Porter is one of my dudes, dude. He came up with us in the XFC. I mean, I was ringing out for XFC when him and Nick Newell were coming through. So, yeah, man. I got a history with your people up in that area, man. Nick Newell's one of my favorite people on the planet Earth. You know, Parker Porter, man, got them twin boys. I mean, you know, Ryan Quinn came from up in your area, but he moved down to Florida, you know, and he's down at American Top Team, happy, you know. There's so many guys that came from that Northeast area that I love, man. So, you know, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah, Parker Porter, I love Parker, man. Parker's a good dude, man. He's funny as fuck. And he can fight, you know. So, when I asked you to come on the show, I forgot to tell you something, and I'm just going to spring it on you. And I don't think it's going to be a problem because you seem like a chill dude. Whenever I have people on my show for the very first time, I always ask them to do something that no other show has to do. It's this is my gimmick. So nobody steals it, which is surprising because people steal everything in life. But I ask people to come on my show and sing or rap, either one. And I don't care what they sing. I don't care what they rap. And listen, this is episode 275 of my show. Now, mind you, look at me, William. Mind you, I have an average of 2 guests on my show whenever I do a show. So I've had 275 in right now. So you're talking 550, we'll say 450 guests because some of them have been on more than once. And nobody said no. So you can't be the first one. And you know what? You're one of the guys I don't expect to be the first one to say no because you just chill. You're just a personality. You like to have fun. So
what's the song then?
Whatever song you want to sing, it don't matter. I don't care if you're singing happy birthday to your grandma. It doesn't matter. We just got to sing something. And I'm going to tell you something. The fans that watch my show love this shit. They like when they find out my guest list and they go, oh, this is somebody's first time on the show. They're going to sing, right? They get all excited.
Oh, man. I don't know those songs right now.
Don't say you don't know no songs right now. You know plenty of songs. You took a 40-hour road trip with all kinds of songs. Come on now.
Yeah, but it's different.
It's different.
I don't know. I'm thinking. Hold on.
You can't fail me, dude. You can't let me down and the fans that are watching.
Dang. I'm having one of those moments.
What kind of music do you listen to on a regular basis?
I listen to like reggae music and some hip hop.
Reggae's your number one thing? So sing us a little something reggae that, you know, even if it's classic.
About, you know.
Don't be shy, bro, man. I mean, we've been goofing the whole show, dude.
You killed me already. Oh, I'm trying to think. Hold on.
All right, take your time. We're here all night. My boy Forrest just said, do something from Bob Marley. You know, that's classic.
Dang, you got me hit right now. I know some songs word for word, but I know a few.
And listen, you don't have to sing a whole song. All they ask is for like 15 seconds or something, dude. You don't have to sit up there and do a whole like Grammy award-winning performance. You know, you get 10, 15 seconds out of a song. I'm good with that. It's just a little something that's just a little fun. Now, I will tell you, while you're sitting there thinking of music, Courtney Casey, female fighter out of on the West Coast, she came on, and to this day, she still has the best song anybody's ever done on the show because she came on, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, here she is, Courtney Casey, and she goes like this. She stops, she sits for a minute, she's like, in West Philadelphia, born and raised. On the playground is where I spent most of my days. The whole Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song, dude. Cut it up, dude. So I was floored, dude. And that's still like the one that everybody remembers the best. Michelle Waterson came on here and did some fancy version of Happy Birthday. Impa, who was just on before you, came on and did some old Louis Armstrong. I see trees of green, and all that crazy shit, dude. I've had guys come on here and beatbox. It's fucking awesome.
Dang, I'm trying to think, yo.
What's your walkout song?
That's deep. That song is deep. All right, I got a song from Nas.
All right, here it comes, everybody.
Ready?
We're ready.
It goes, zoom, from outer space he comes, blunt in his mouth with his hand on his gun. Bitches flapping their gums, do he be clapping and shooting guys, acting all movie star, rapper, revolution, Nas. What is this race, nation, agreed? Is he out of it? Black, Latin, Asian, they read. Magazines say I walked on water, talked to the heavens, spit at judges, stepped on peasants. But in reality, I descend to your galaxy. September 73, up in these wild streets, fucking these wild freaks, my hair and my hoe, and my seat got them tearing my clothes. There you go.
Yeah, bro, you were spitting right there, bro. I thought you were gonna do like 10 seconds, but once you start, you get into it, right? You're like, all right, I gotta keep that. I gotta go. I'm gonna go till I forget the next word, and then I'm done.
I know that whole song. I used to listen to that song all the time.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. Well, listen, bro. I really appreciate you coming on tonight. I especially appreciate you coming on a little earlier than we had planned because, like I said, WWE calls a WWE star. They can never tell them no. They are so strict about stuff. So
Definitely.
worse than the UFC. So I appreciate it, dude. I'm glad we got to do this face to face. It was a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to make my way, maybe to your next fight when it gets announced. Now the fans are coming back and everything,
Yeah.
and I got to meet you face to face in person, dude. Fucking at least once in my life. That's the way I like to be. I like to shake somebody's hand, for doing an interview and just say thank you face to face. It's different face to face than it is face to face on a camera.
I got you.
But maybe who knows? Maybe we'll plan that road trip. We'll go do a 24-hour road trip, you and me, and we'll fucking maybe that'll be my thing, dude. I'll do fighter road trips with people. I'll just grab one fighter, we'll take a road trip. There's my gimmick, dude. I'm in. I just found my $1 million idea. All right, and I'll cut you in, dude. We'll make you a partner in the show, dude. Just because it was me and you that came up with it. We were on the vibe. That's what made it happen. Nothing happens by yourself in life. It's always a situation or circumstance, somebody around, somebody, an influence, a moment, a second in life can change everything. So it's good shit, bro. But if you want to do any shout outs to anybody, sponsors, coaches, fans, friends.
All right, I got 4% left, so my phone's about to die. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say shout out to my fans, my family, my loved ones. Shout out to my coaches, my teammates. Shout out to all Connecticut and the world that support me. Shout out to my haters too, because without you, I wouldn't be, on my P's and Q's.
Amen.
And follow me on Instagram, SSJ_nightmare. That's about it, man. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hearing me out.
Oh, dude, I'm definitely going to have you on again, dude. I'm going to put you on my regular rotation, dude, because I could talk to you all day, dude, and, about anything. That's the thing, dude. Some guys I've talked to, I only interview once because we didn't connect. And I know it's awkward when you don't connect with somebody, but I connected with you. I feel like I did. Maybe I'm wrong. You're going to get off the air and go, man, that crazy old guy fucking thought we connected. Yeah. What? No. No. But listen, it's all right, bro. Listen, go plug it in. And thanks for being here tonight, man. Good luck in your next one, man. And we'll talk again soon, man. God bless you.
Man. Hit me up.
Always, dude. Be well.
Peace.
Peace. Boys and girls, that was the Nightmare himself, William Knight. Fun show. All right, listen, it's 10 o'clock. We're going to take an hour break. And wait, hold on. Before we take an hour break, let me see if Mitchell hit me up. I just hit. We got one more guest I might bring on right now. we'll see. He's up in Tallahassee right now. He's got an event this weekend, Combat Night. The man is Mitchell Chamale. He is the promoter, the president of Combat Night. Him and Josh Simon started that up a few years back, and he's kept it going. With the help of his team, Richard Cox and Ramsey White, and of course his girl Brandy, and everybody else that's involved. So Mitchell was in Singapore last week or the week before, cornering. My brain just fucking goes. The name will pop up from my head in a second, but he was there to corner one of his buddies, and the opportunity arose for him to fight for one, which Troy Worthen, who's there to corner. And they offered him a fight. I'm guessing the money was right. So he decided, what the hell? He said he would always wanted to fight overseas. Going into the fight, I believe it was 7-2 as a pro, but he hasn't fought in 6 years. But he took the fight, fought for one. He didn't get the victory, but man, 24-hour notice, 6 years out of the fight. How do you not respect that? He always said he would fight again. We always thought it'd be here in the States, maybe on one of his own shows, or maybe Island Fights, or, somewhere along the lines, another regional show. But, there was a point where he was almost on the Contender Series. But he's been so focused on getting the business of being a promoter, he hasn't had time to, follow his fight career. Yet he trains all the time. He's all over the state of Florida, all over the world, always traveling and doing stuff, but he's always in a gym someplace. So, he was in shape, maybe not in 100% fight shape. But, he put on the best he could, considering the circumstances. And, hats off to Mitchell Chamale. I had messaged him, and, he said he was going to try to come on, but, it is what it is. If he makes it on tonight, that's great. If not, we'll definitely get him on here in the future. I'm going to give him a couple minutes because I told him, I would have him come on at 10. It's just turning into 10 o'clock. Sean Corning, what does that mean? I'm reading some of the comments. Forrest, thank you for saying it was an awesome show. I appreciate it. And like I said, we'll be back at 11 o'clock with Jeff Neal. UFC welterweight. He's fighting Neil Magny, like I said, in May. This was a fight that was supposed to happen before. It didn't happen. Injury and health concerns. So it's been rescheduled. And this is a fight a lot of people want to see. I've been waiting to see this fight for quite some time. I think it's a good matchup. The up-and-comer, in Jeff Neal, who's been on an incredible ride in the UFC, taking on, Neil Magny, who, sometimes I think gets overlooked in the division as being one of the true big stars there. He's quiet. He's not out there doing crazy stuff. He comes to work, with his lunch bucket in his hand, and he works. He fights and he goes home. So that's going to be an excellent fight. I can't wait for it. We're going to have, like I said, Jeff Neal's going to be on with us at 11 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and guess that Mitchell probably ain't going to make it tonight because it doesn't even look like he's on Messenger right now where I was messaging Matt. So we're going to jump out of here. If he messages me, hits me up, then I'll bring him back on with Jeff, or I might come back on at 10:30. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in for part one of the show tonight. This is episode 275. The next one will be 275 and a half. Thanks to my two guests that have already been on tonight. I really do appreciate the coming in. Impa Kasanganay and William Knight. You guys are awesome. And we'll be back in a little bit, guys. But until then, I am Christopher James. You've been Cage Time. We'll see you back here in about an hour. Peace. Well, maybe peace. See you guys soon.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell's Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuit. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Throw up the deuces. There you go, baby.